Recently, the design of New Jersey's primary election ballots have made the news, so I figured that I would quickly cover it by going over some of the details and backgrounds of why that is important. So the background for this has to do with the 2024 Senate race in New Jersey. The current Democratic Senator, Bob Menendez, got caught up in a corruption scandal and is currently charged with bribery as well as fraud, and if convicted, he faces up to 45 years in prison. Now, as alleged in the press release by the US Department of Justice, Menendez and his wife are said to have taken hundreds of thousands of dollars in bribes from 3 businessmen in New Jersey in order to fund their lavish lifestyle, with alleged bribes being paid with over $500,000 in cash, a Mercedes-Benz, and at least $100,000 worth of solid gold bars. Now, while he has not been convicted of any crimes yet, he has faced very heavy political pressure to resign, but Menendez has refused to do so, making him even more unpopular with the general public. As a result of this, 2 contenders have emerged to try to get the Democratic Party's nomination in the 2024 New Jersey Senate race to replace Menendez. The first contender is Tammy Murphy, the wife of current New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy. Governor Murphy and his wife have a close working relationship, with Tammy Murphy even having her own office in the State House. She is also listed as a member of the administration on the New Jersey government website. The First Lady Murphy is seen as being popular with the Democratic Party establishment and has been an influential voice in developing public policy related to maternal health care in the state. The couple also has a background in finance, with both of them having first met while working at Goldman Sachs. However, concerns about influence, extravagance, and accountability have also been voiced by the critics of the Murphys. Because, unlike her husband, who was elected to office, if people don't like her policies or influence in the administration, as the First Lady of New Jersey, there isn't really much they can do to democratically remove her from office. And if she does get elected, there are concerns about how having a husband and wife duo might be too close of a personal relationship for a senator and a governor to have in the modern day. The Murphys are also multi-millionaires, which further sets them apart from the average citizens of New Jersey. Tammy Murphy, notably, was also a registered Republican until 2014. Leading there to be concerns that she might not be that liberal of a candidate for the party. This is important because the US Senate currently has 48 Democrats, 3 independents that often work with the Democrats, and 49 Republicans. So losing or gaining even 1 seat will be critical, as they will allow the winning party to secure a majority and control legislation in the Senate. The other major Democratic contender is Representative Andy Kim. Kim grew up in the state and was first elected to the House of Representatives in 2019. He is of Korean descent, and his election to the House was seen as being a reflection of the significant growth of the Asian American community in the US, with 1 in 10 people in New Jersey being Asian themselves. And he first came to national attention when a photo of him helping to clean up the mess that was left behind after the US Capitol was attacked during January 6 went viral. Before serving in elected office, he worked as a government bureaucrat for over a decade, at the Pentagon, the US Department of State, as well as the National Security Council under President Barack Obama. In Congress, Kim is a member of the Progressive Caucus, which represents the left wing of the Democratic Party, and he is seen as being popular with the more progressive voters of New Jersey. Now, Representative Kim has recently filed a lawsuit to remove a design feature found on primary ballots in New Jersey, known as the county line. Now, primary elections are just elections used by political parties to determine who their candidate for a general election should be, with each faction of the party running their preferred candidate against each other during the primaries. Then they come together to support the winner of the primary, who will represent the party in the general election. Now, in other states, ballots are laid out so they do not push the voter to favor one candidate and are very simple in design, with the ballot usually being divided into smaller subsections, so they can clearly list all the candidates running for each office. This makes it easier for the voters to pick their preferred candidate in each race. But New Jersey is a little different, with the ballots for each primary election in each of the 21 counties being designed by the 21 different county political parties. And these designs often group candidates together in what is known as the county line, to give preference to those politicians who the local party establishment supports, with the majority of ballots using a grid system, where candidates that have the support of the local party establishment are often placed into one row or column, while the other contenders are placed out on their own. This design has drawn criticism as it seems to encourage the public to vote only for the candidates in the county line, by making it easier to check off every box in the column. With a study by Julia Sass-Rubin of Rutgers University showing that being on the county line is advantageous, especially for incumbents, as it gives them an edge when running for re-election. The Communication Workers of America even found that between 2009 and 2018, if you were an incumbent, getting your name on the county line meant that you would win the primary election almost 100% of the time. And this is important because New Jersey is a heavily Democratic state. Therefore, winning the Democratic primary will almost always mean that you would go on to win in the general election. Other studies have shown that controlling the county line has historically allowed party bosses to greatly influence who is able to get nominated and eventually win these elections. This has made it harder for political outsiders to get elected, especially those who come from a more marginalized background, such as the working class, women, as well as ethnic and religious minorities. However, defenders of the county line have also said that one reason why the party system in New Jersey is so strong is because of it, as it allows the party establishment to pick very strong candidates that are more popular with the general public and not just popular with the local party members. And by having the line, it will allow those chosen candidates to win in the primaries and then go on to win in the general election. However, another issue with the county line is that it often leads to a great deal of voter confusion, as voters will often not understand how to cast a vote, or might accidentally vote for two candidates running in the same race, due to the messy layout of the ballot. And if these mistakes occur, it can even lead the ballots to be disqualified. For example, in Dr. Rubin's research, she discovered that the ballot design for Mercer County in 2020 listed 3 candidates running for the same office, but 2 of them were placed in the county line for some reason. And unfortunately, many people accidentally marked both of them, because they were used to just filling in the entire county line. And since they were only supposed to vote for one of the 3, due to this issue with the ballots being incorrectly marked, this resulted in 30% of the primary votes from that county being thrown out. This confusing layout has even been exploited by political rivals, who will often run phantom candidates. Phantom candidates are a unique feature of New Jersey's politics, and they often pop up when a political campaign get a handful of random people to run in an election, just to make the ballot larger and more confusing. For example, if there are only 2 candidates, with one being the establishment candidate, while the other one is a popular outsider, there will only be 2 rows. This will make it easier for the voters to pick between the 2 candidates. However, if a bunch of phantom candidates are added, this will increase the number of rows on the ballot, making it more confusing and much harder for voters to easily find the outsider candidate's name to vote for them. Therefore, as Andy Kim has been seen as the outsider or underdog in this election, with this lawsuit, he's hoping to get rid of the county line and make these ballots easier to read, so it will help him become the Democratic Party's nominee to the Senate, as well as helping other progressive and non-establishment candidates in the future. Now, as of the end of March 2024, as a result of this lawsuit, the Office of the Attorney General of New Jersey has recently come out saying that the county line is unconstitutional. And Tammy Murphy has suspended her campaign for the Senate, so it looks like Andy Kim will now have a clear path to become the Democratic Party's candidate for the Senate race in the fall. However, Bob Menendez has not ruled out running as an independent, challenging both the Democratic and Republican nominees. Thanks for watching, and if you are from New Jersey, please let me know what you think of your local politics, and I hope to see you next time. If you'd like to have early access and give feedback on this type of content, please consider joining the Patreon. And as always, thanks to my patrons, Untroid and DC, as well as my new top patron, Julian. Thank you so much for the support you have given so far.